we met on Tinder 18 days before the war.
Just like only friend.
Oof, friend zone right from the start.
Pretty good.
I was the one who was late. Hello everyone, Anastasia here. If you see this video for the first time on the date it was posted, most likely you came here from our TikTok account, and it is very likely you are aware that we are the founders of Ukraine Animal Rescue. This is an organization that is dedicated to saving animals that lost their homes and owners because of the war in Ukraine. We moved to this platform for a specific reason, to tell a little bit more about ourselves, as there has been many times inquiries about our personal life, how we go through this war, and other little things in our relationship. And I think it's fair to say that despite the war, despite all the challenges, our relationship is very strong. And I think the best word to describe it is fulfilling. And I think it's fair to start telling our story from the day we met.
And how?
And how we met. In a way, it is nothing unique because we met on Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
However, I do have a. Tell me, what did you? How did we? Do you want to tell?
Super like. Okay.
She super liked me. I went to double check. I haven't used Tinder after we met, obviously, but I went specifically to double check our date of first interaction on Tinder, and I was like, did she actually? What does that blue little star mean? And what is super like in Tinder? I guess you get like 2 of them, which are free. I think you get 2 of them that are free or whatever. Did you pay for it?
I don't know. I had a subscription here, so.
Oh, so you did have a subscription. I see. Well, I did have a subscription as well. So, subscription, it actually allows you to see who liked you without swiping right or left. So what the super like does, it basically allows you to super like someone and they automatically sort of swipe you as well, but you don't have, like, it doesn't require the other person to swipe in for you to show up in their contacts, I guess. I don't know, like, is it considered to be like contacts? So anyhow, super like it is.
Okay.
I didn't even knew by that time she super liked me. I was just like, they didn't even notice, like, okay, it's like, whatever. I didn't recognize it until I actually went back recently to see like the date we met. I was like, oops. But anyhow, that stroked my ego a little bit. So yeah, that is exciting story about super. That was not pitying me at all, right? It was very like, you're doing great, Sunshine Anton. She super liked me. We communicated a little bit via Tinder chat, and then we went to Telegram, which is pretty common in Ukraine. And we agreed to meet, but she told me she's going on a vacation. Where do you go on vacation?
Bukovyl.
So
This is our ski resort on the west Ukraine.
So she went snowboarding. So you're a snowboarder.
No.
Oh, you're a skier. Yeah. I also like dabbled in skiing a little bit in Colorado. So she went skiing with her brother.
Brother and parents.
Oh, so the whole family went there. So the
Yeah.
whole family went. And she said, like, yeah, dude, look, I would love to meet you, but I'm going on vacation. Not a problem at all. So she came back from vacation and had like, yo, well, she was much more professional, but she's like, "Yo, what up, my man? Are you still up for that like date?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'm totally in." When it comes to dates, I usually see a very like classic normal setting in a restaurant or any food establishment a good idea because, well, I mean, you get to see each other face to face, you get to talk, you get to munch on the food. So I picked that restaurant. I think they were specializing in wine. I think they're like, it's a wine cellar or something. And it's very important for me to be on time. Like, very important to me to be on time. And it's also very important for me to other person being on time. I'm running late, I'm letting know, of course, like, hey, I'm running late, this and so, and trying to do this as much as possible in advance. I was the one who was late. But in my defense, I was late only like 3 minutes. I let her know in advance because, you know, the classic, there's been no parking available.
Oh, yeah.
So we met on the February 6th, 2022, 18 days before the war. That's when we met in person, our first date. I think you liked me on that date. That kind of makes sense nowadays. Otherwise, it would be like, hopefully, you're like, oh God. But I'll spend next 2 years with that dude. That sounds pretty normal and happy. Did you think the date was good? Like,
Pretty good.
also, I always pay for dates overall. To my experience and personal opinion, there is nothing wrong if a lady decides to pay her half or even for the full date, which is I'm probably would not gonna be like okay with. I mean, like, we're not gonna fight her on that, but that okay. Anyhow,
It's not for me.
I pay for the first dates, and I usually pay for the dates, and maybe later down in relationship there is nothing like wrong when your wonderful soulmate like pay for the food here and there, or maybe some kind of other ideas for the date night, I guess at this point. If you're like if you're actively dating or you're in a relationship, like maybe later down the road, that seems to be to me a little bit more natural. But in general, my experience has never been different in the first place, so I don't think there is anything wrong with the guy paying for the date.
For me, no. It's not normal for me if the guy asks me to pay half or
Yeah, that's
all the bill. It's
that is just
so it's
rough
just
date.
you know, like okay, you could invite me just on coffee and pay for it if you don't have a budget for expensive dinner, you know. But
This face-to-face ability to communicate from the start makes a lot of sense, and then it seems to be, it does like, unless you're playing chess, it does require usually a meal. Again, there's nothing wrong with a guy paying for a meal, like nothing at all. Now, if he's like asking you to pay half, I would say this is just awkward. I guess that's the right, like, I think it works for any country in the world. Like, I don't
know. This guy just like only friend, not a guy with I'm planning to date.
Oof. Friend zone right from the start. Anyhow. Okay, yeah, so like, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. Let's just, when the man pays for a woman on a date, first, second, third, doesn't matter. It's not that should be considered an obligation, or like it's immediately she's becoming in debt. Oh, like, oh, he paid for a dinner, now I have to, like, I owe him something. It's just the thought of this is ridiculous. If you have a different opinion on that,
It's okay.
or rather let us know. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
So
okay.
it just-
We literally said just it's awkward. Like, how is it not wrong? Okay, let's just like yeah. It is just awkward, and it's just like if you don't want to have a second date, you just say like you pay your half. That's just basically just a good way not to have a second date. Take a note. How to not have a second date. But our opinion is very strong based. Let us know what you think about it. So I paid for the date. It went great. We had a wonderful conversation. We had a lot of interesting things to talk about. After the dinner, we went for a walk around the downtown Kiev. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
We really had a good time. So February 6th. So that's when we start dating. And
18 days before the war.
yeah. And something was brewing. It was not a secret. Everybody was expecting something's gonna go.
Yeah, but I didn't expect the full invasion to all territory of Ukraine. I thought that it will be just on Donbass, the east part of Ukraine, which is my place where I grown up, where my parents lived.
We've been going on the dates pretty frequently. I would say like every other, or like I don't know. I don't have exact like list of dates, but we had dates like every other day would say the fair assessment. And yeah, we both been talking. I thought like there's been different scenarios of how this could go. And the full-blown invasion never like it was an option, but I thought it was like such a tiny option. To me, it's just like
Yeah, it's something, I don't know, unbelievable. Maybe 1 or 2 days before the invasion, we decided with my brother that our mom will come to Kiev from Lysychansk, and it was like a real operation
Operation Getaway.
to take her from Lysychansk with some things, with a car, with a dog.
It was the day that she came into Kiev the day before.
They came to Kiev on 5 or 6 o'clock on 24 February. Just
So basically, they came.
So, like,
they finally came a couple
on
hours
time.
before the rocket starts flying into Ukraine.
Yeah.
What a good sense of.
Yeah, and we just, oh my God, what we did? We thought that everything will be in Lysychansk. We took our mom to Kiev, and here we are, rockets flying just above our house.
Once the war started, she was with her parents. I was alone in my apartment, and I came to you for the first time. Like what? 2 days later?
Maybe 2 or 3 days later.
So I drove to her,
Yeah.
and then I saw their apartment was on the 22nd floor, like perfect target for rockets. My apartment was on the first floor, so they were living like responsible adults in the bomb shelter. I just didn't care. I mean, to my knowledge, whether it would be first or last floor, I was just like, no, I'm just not doing that. Just like,
You're lazy.
I'm not lazy, but I saw the amount of damage they're doing to actual city. I thought like the odds of me dying in this particular case are relatively small, because there has been no close range artillery next to the city. So like, I don't know. But I saw her living with her parents and her cat and dog
Oh yeah.
in the shelter, and I'm like, dude, this like place is not comfy.
But for me, it was safe.
Yeah, I guess. So I convinced her to take her cat and move it into my apartment by saying like, dude, that's the first floor. You know, the lower you are, the better it is for your safety, which is true, which is exactly true.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I had like this little cellar and given this is a multi-story apartment building, but yet we had a little cellar. And I said like, hey, that's just the perfect bomb shelter, which is it's a so bomb shelter.
So,
But
like,
I said to her, look, we have everything we need, and it's super comfy. Well, it's
yeah, but
comfy.
I didn't want to leave my mom, my brother alone. It was 8th of March.
Oh, I remember how I convinced
And
you.
you took me to your apartment, like for celebration of
We were celebrating something.
8th of March.
Oh yeah, the International Women's Day. Yes, I'm that doy. Yeah.
But I got sick.
Yeah.
I had a temperature, and I was feeling so bad, and at that moment I didn't want to come back to that shelter. Like, oh no, I just want to lay on the bed, and I don't want to come back here. And I stay forever.
Yes. So, but I was actually a little bit more sneaky than even that. First, I convinced her to bring her cat and leave the cat
He
with.
just took me for parts, like.
Okay, well, first, the cat was constantly sitting in the crate, carry on, and it was a small carry-on, and she would let him out for a stretch like once in a while, and I said, hey, the cat is obviously need more space. I mean, I understand you want to be with your parents and your brother, but cat is not necessarily on board with that plan. So I first convinced her to.
He loves me.
Yes, you know what he also loves? Not being imprisoned.
I took him with me, and
I offered to take the cat. Said like, hey, give me the cat, I'll take care of him. So I was driving there once in a while. She would come into my place like for a little bit, then she would come back. So once, maybe like a week later, or maybe not even a week, I convinced her to bring the cat. So she brought the cat, and I kept the cat. And then the March 8th, she came, and I think I made like a dinner, and I had to make a dinner. There is no way on the March 8th I would slack on it. Like, there's zero chances I didn't get prepared food. She got some sort of cold. She had fever, or maybe something close to fever. And I said like, hey, well, you don't have to go back immediately. You might as well just stay here to get better, because you know what is not good for your health? Cold, high humid, dark dungeon.
yeah.
So yeah, there she was. So she stayed there, and I basically cared for her when she was sick. I mean, the standard procedure when somebody got cold: food, rest, some basic meds. That's it, I guess. It's just doesn't take a lot more what people already know to actually help somebody who's cold. Fast forward, it's been 2 years we've been together, and through all this hardship our country and our people been through, our relationship has been very fulfilling. And recently we sat down and decided to analyze what makes it so strong, nurturing, and overall great. And we came up with 8 things that we seem to be fundamentally important, and not all of those things we talked over ever before. Most of them came in naturally in our relationship. It's just something we have analyzed to be a major factor. What we did, we made a list of couples that we find happy, and of course over time I could see their relationship is very stable. It's a very short list though, quite a short list. We find people who are in a happy relationship over time, and we contacted them to ask them questions about what do they find important in their relationship which makes it strong and fulfilling. And it was very surprising to see that those fundamental things play a major role in their relationships as well. So it's a pattern, and again, for most of those things, these couples, they didn't really thought about it deeply. It's just something we just gathered as the information, and we see, again, like interacting directly, matching our fundamentals. So it's 8 things that we think been proven over time by us and others. Again, quite a short list of happy couples that we know of, very short. Those things is something they point out without us asking, like, hey, this was a major thing, or this, it was just like more of a little interview, and they just volunteer that information on their own, and we're like, holy moly, look at this is pretty much the same as we are. Not pretty much, exactly the same as we are, differently explained, but you know, you can describe tomato as a round fruit, and some people describe tomato as the red bubble, but it's still a tomato no matter how you look at it, and whether you call it tomato or tomato, it's still the same thing. So no matter how you look at a tomato, no matter how you describe it, no matter how you name it, it is what it is. So those 8 things we have found as fundamentally important to build a strong, fulfilling relationship. In our next video, we will tell about those things. Meanwhile, of course, there's a lot of other stories for the 2 years we have. Maybe there is something in particular you want to know about that period of our life, which again, all our relationship has been during the war, except those first 18 days. Quite a story, I guess, full of stories. Say something, please. Well, anyhow, if you would like to support our organization, you can find the links in the description of our profile. Hopefully you find our mission as important as we are. If you're already a supporter, we're grateful. It's our first YouTube video, like YouTube video, so it would be amazing if you will subscribe. There's also a little bell, I guess that makes a difference. If you subscribe, if you watch this video till the end, it's important that you will like it, subscribe it, and hit the bell. Did I just say everybody says? Yeah, I just did say everything.
Like, comment.
Yeah. So please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell. Check our profile for information that you can support our mission. Very happy to see you on our first tries. Let us know how we did. We really need that feedback.
Thank you.